I've been playing a lot with the Jet KVM. So you guys probably know Jet KVM. It's a little KVM device. It's actually right here. I don't know if I can get it in the camera without disconnecting it. Kind of, sort of. I'll pick up the whole PC too. But yeah, Jet KVM, little device helps you remote control your any PC anywhere. And a lot of the code, well, all of the code is open source, and most of it is public except one little piece. But they said that's coming soon. And so I've been playing with the one that I purchased, and I've been writing a ton of code, which is kind of fun. Like it's fun to be able to work on something for YouTube that one I like, that I enjoy. That's most everything, but has like a hardware component piece to it, and then has a software component piece to it. And so the last couple of days, I've been writing some code and contributing to the Jet KVM open source repos, and I'm so close. I didn't even want to say it, but just right before the stream, I think I'm like, 5 lines of code away from being able to self-host the whole stack. So I've already self-hosted the cloud API, and now I'm self-hosting the app, the Jet KVM app. And pretty soon, I think I'll have the whole thing self-hosted. So it's pretty awesome to be able to do that, to pull down this code and do all that. So yeah, this device is awesome. I mean, you guys have seen it. And I don't know if it's going to focus. Probably going to bring it back here, but I got it hooked up to this. Hey, got it hooked up to this little mini PC to remote control it. But I also put it here on my desk because I'm like writing the code and then deploying it to this device right here. So I don't want it back over there because I need to like look at it and stuff like that. So it's been pretty fun. Yeah, right. Just writing some code and deploying to it. Hopefully I have more to share. I think I'm going to end up sharing it in a video too when I talk about this. But hopefully by the end of it, we'll be able to self-host most things. There are some things you can't self-host. Well, I shouldn't say can't, but can't yet self-host with the Jet KVM. And it's OIDC provider. Right now it only supports Google, so hopefully more in the future. And then the stun and turn servers, I don't know. This is kind of new to me. But the servers that help you establish connections outside of your network so you can connect to a device through a firewall, those servers are, you could host your own, but Google and Cloudflare, a lot of people host them, and they're public to use. So that's another piece that's, you could host it yourself, but why? Maybe you should. So anyways, I hope to get that done. I'm itching to write the rest of that code tonight, and hopefully I'll have it self-hosted on my own domain, and then I'll kind of play with it a little bit though. So, anyways, and that aside, you don't need to host anything for the Jet KVM. The software is on the device. If the only case where you would want to access it through the cloud is if you want to access it through the cloud. But if you have multiple devices, that's another reason too. But they do provide a cloud hosted service that's free, open source, secure. But I've been working on hosting that myself. So it's pretty fun. So hey, real quick, dude, AFK Tactical sub tier 1. Dude, thank you so much. 1 year, 1 month. Thank you so much. 2025. Yeah. Wait, no, 25. I needed to math. 2 years, 1 month. Man, I've been spacing out. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you for the continued support. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. It's a ton of fun. I have my own fork of the whole Jet KVM thing out there because I needed to rev a little bit faster. I can't wait for them to merge PRs and approve PRs. So I forked it. I set up CI and CD. I'm building the Docker containers myself. I'm publishing them on GitHub. Container registry, and they're all out there. And so pretty soon, a couple of more pieces, and then I'm going to be able to host it. So anyways, that's what I've been working on. It's a ton of fun, and hopefully a video out on that plus more soon. So anyways, let's get in a chat and see what you all are working on. Something weird going on. I'll ignore it. Let's see what you're working on, and if you have something you want to share, throw it in chat. We'll talk about it. Let's go from the top. Let's go from the top and see what's going on. Oh, real quick, I know it's a little bit late, but I do kind of have a stop right around 4-ish, maybe a little bit over. So that's 4 Central Time. So, and I didn't say this in the beginning, but Usually go roughly an hour. Started a lot late today because of difficulties, but I'll try to make up for it. So, hey, lots of howdies. Yakto, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. Yakto's here. Fat Dad 32, dude. Oh wow, thank you so much. Hype Train. Whoa, there's all kinds of stuff coming in. Twisted Grim, how's it going? How's it going, man? Resub, 26 months. Thank you so much. Hola. We'll check the VOD later. All right, man. All right. And I did update Twitch so that people might know where my VODs are now, because I don't host them on Twitch because there's really no point to. Really no point to. So down below, if you ever come here and you're like, oh, I missed a stream, there should be something in the about that says missed a stream, and you click it, and then it'll take you out to where they're hosted on YouTube. Dude, thank you so much, Hype Train. Thank you, Mob Farmer. Hey, how's it going? 100 bits. I want to ride this train. Choo choo. Thank you. Yeah, Hype Train is going. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So let's see. AFK Tactical, what's up? Hi, all. Lots of highs. Lots of highs. Tim is or was having camera issues per Discord message. Yeah, I am and was and still am are. How about that? It's yeah, I kind of have to roll the dice. I don't know. I feel like things have been pretty stable, but it's like the more I do on this camera and the more things I do around the room with it, like I don't know what I'm coming back to, and it should be pretty guessable. Should be pretty easy. So I don't know. I gotta figure that out. And I was saying last week too, like, man, maybe I need a dedicated streaming PC, not dual PC streaming, but just one that's like dedicated box right here. I press go and it's always hooked up. Doesn't solve the camera problem though, unless I get another camera, which I do have now. I kind of have a backup one, kind of, sort of. But dude, thank you so much. Oh man, Hype Train, Fat Dad, dude, Fat Dad gave out 1 community sub, dude. Thank you so much, Mob Farmer. Oh, I already called that out. Fat Dad gifted a sub. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Lights are a-flashing in here. Lights are a-flashing. What an adventure it's been. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me more. Tell me more. Can hear you. Dance party. Yeah, it kind of is a dance party when it's flashing in here. All right. He has engaged 8-bit video game mode. That's right. That's right. With my alerts. Romeo Jr., hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. I agree, happy Saturday. A lot of happy Saturdays, too. It is nice. This Saturday today, this Saturday, we're getting up to like 35, 36 degrees, which is pretty awesome. Which is, if you think about it, we were at negative 15, I don't know, 4 days ago. And so now it's like a 50-degree swing. And it's going to be even nicer tomorrow. So, I mean, when I say nice for Minnesota in February, I'm talking like 40s. Like, there will be people in shorts tomorrow. Guaranteed it. They're probably in shorts today. That's how it is in Minnesota. Like, once it gets to be about 35, especially after a really cold snap, then people are just like, yep, shorts time. I'm sure people are. Keiko, 32. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Lots of lows, lots of hellos. You can hear me? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Fat Dad 32. What's the plan with TrueNAS? It's going to be a VM or still going to be on metal? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a lot coming on TrueNAS. I need to get through this, but I'll tell you what my plans are. It's bare metal now. It's gonna stay bare metal, but it's getting some upgrades here soon. And then during those upgrades, I'm most likely going to move all of my Docker containers for my home prod that are scattered throughout machines in my environment and co-locate them all on my TrueNAS machine. So yeah, and then upgrades. I haven't decided on storage upgrades yet. I'm pretty okay on storage. I mean, I'm like 60. I checked yesterday, 65% full. And if I do some cleaning, I could probably get a lot less. But storage is kind of okay. I am thinking about adding some SSDs or some other fast storage then for those Docker apps that are going to be running there. And then what else am I doing? Tons of fans. Noctua, speaking of Noctua, they sent me this hoodie. Can't really see it. They were out of like their brown, like their signature brown hoodies, but I'm happy to get this one. Anyways, they sent me a whole bunch of fans. and a power supply that's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. So I might do some swapping out of that. I have like 4 things I need to do to my TrueNet server. So I'm going to do it all at once. I've kind of been holding off, and I was like, okay, this is a good time to swap the power supply, swap all the fans, maybe shuffle around some drives, my SSDs with the caddies I printed, and yeah, and then maybe the software side. We'll see. We'll see. But it's gonna stay. It's gonna stay bare metal. I did virtualize it in the beginning, which is fun until it's not anymore, and that's where I got to, because every time I needed to reboot Proxmox, which is also rare, it would take my NAS down, and so I was like, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. And so I still forget that. I still forget it. Like when I go to reboot my Proxmox servers, one of them, I'm like, oh yeah, storage is going to be down. You know, I probably shouldn't be saving or working on this video project. I'm like, oh no, what am I talking about? It's not that way anymore. So, but yeah, it's super fun. Gonna stay bare metal for a while. Skitch000 with the Prime sub, dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see. PC Geek Sound. Oh yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier. Flowdash, all this week traveled to the States to help build a new AI cluster. So many racks of servers and so much fiber ran. I'm pooped. I bet you are. I bet you are. Just traveling alone, but then traveling and work on top of that. And probably, you know, whenever I've worked remote on some things before, you just kind of work the whole day. You just kind of never stop until it's done. And usually there's more work to do. And you're just constantly going at it all day, and then, you know, take a little break, and then, you know, that's it. But awesome. I'd like to hear about these AI servers. I'd love to hear about them. Dude, thank you for the level 2 hype train. Thank you so much. Wow, that was awesome. Let's see. Mob Farmer, trying to get my MikroTik 100 gig switch working. Foobarred it. Now cleaning old tech debt. Yeah, now cleaning old tech debt in case old wiring from a couple of years of not cleaning up from test projects. Yeah, cables leading nowhere. Fun. I know what you mean. I know what you mean on the cables leading nowhere. I mean, that was me under the desk like 10 minutes ago when I was trying to figure out what's going on. I'm like pulling up this cable. I'm like, why does it say Windows on here? Because I don't have a Windows machine in here. And I trace it back and it's just coming back to itself, but still in the basket underneath. I'm like, oh, this is adding to it. And funny thing is, I did all my cable management. It was a little over a year ago. So anyways, I do need to clean some stuff up. That's the thing, is like, this is like tech debt with cable management. Like, you know, you get some new stuff, you shift some new stuff around, you bring in some stuff, get rid of old stuff. And then you have cables that are labeled with the previous thing that aren't plugged into anything. That's my server rack right now too. I have one that says like, oh, I forget the name. It's my old Proxmox servers that are in the co-location. And so when I pull it up, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not here anymore. So I have to like do the math, and I'm like, or do the, you know, get out the decoder ring and think, okay, well, this used to be plugged into that, so I know it's on that VLAN, so I can plug it into this. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of a mess. So yeah, I'm good at putting labels on stuff when I move them in. I'm very bad at keeping them up to date when things change. And, you know, and then I start doing the decoder ring. Oh yeah, that server that was on that VLAN, I know, I can plug it in here. It's totally fine. Yeah, but I found my labeler too. It's back there. My wife and I had a running joke for over a year. We couldn't find it. I thought she donated it, but I found it. So I'm happy about that. I never bought a new one. Real quick, dude, Hoplo Echo, resub Prime, 9 months. Thank you so much. Oi, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you. Pizza Geek, shopping around to replace my old Aruba PoE switch with a Unify one. Oh man, who is this guy? He's converting every day. One more thing. To a Unify one, but don't want first gen. Yeah, you don't want first gen anything Unify. Hard to find them for real cheap. Yeah, no, because they hold their value. And 24 ports won't be enough, so it's got to be 48. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough spot to be in. Because a 48 PoE, you only have a couple of options. Actually, you have more, but the newer ones like Pro Max and stuff like that are going to be super expensive. And then on the Enterprise, those are going to be super expensive. So you really only have one option, and it's that 48 PoE that's all gigabit. And that's really your only option, because anything else than that is going to be newer and more expensive. or it's going to be like the enterprise version that I have that's 2.5 all the way across the board, and that's going to be more expensive. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. They definitely do hold their value soon. Yocto, oh, there you go. All right. I'm actually considering. I have that 48. I actually have both of them. Yeah, and that one, the non-enterprise one, it's like 48 PoE Pro. I think it's Gen 2. That one, I don't know. They still sell it. They still sell it for like $1,100 or something crazy. Not crazy. I mean, it's it holds its value. That's for sure. But yeah, there you go. Maybe he's selling one. There you go. I like it. I like it. Sounds good now. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yocto. All right, Yocto. Let's see. Why does my voice sound so weird in my ears? Anyways, getting my GPU server racked and added to OpenStack this weekend. 4 by RTX 4000s, 88 generation GPUs. Wow, a dual 40 gig networking, 64 core AMD EPYC Rome CPU, then stress test it. Wow, man. Things are up for YWS. They're now venturing into AI. They're venturing into AI territory. So, man, so added to OpenStack this weekend, 4 RTX 4000s. 88 generation GPUs, dual 40 gig networking. That is crazy. That is crazy. I still don't know what you're doing there, but I don't want you to ever tell me because I love not knowing and making stuff up. But I mean, you're hosting stuff for people. I'm curious, like, what services does YWS have any shared services? I know you have a container service. I heard you talking about that. But if you have OpenStack, I guess you kind of have everything. So you kind of have everything. So he's hosting and boasting. I like it. I like it. He certainly is. He certainly is. But good guy, Yocto. YWS CEO. He always turns out. Thank you. Appreciate you being here, man. Let's see. Hi there. Hey, Zendy. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you, Zendy. Ghost TVX. Oh yeah, I like it. Ghost. And then got the Ghost. I like it. I like it. Mod Farmer still waiting for mine to ship. Ordered 2 of them a couple weeks ago. Hey, so you're talking about the Jet KVM. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, they're still selling them. I think their February batch is going out soon. I think that's probably what you're talking about. I was just reading about it, and they were saying, well, February batch is coming out soon. So pretty awesome. It's they're fun. They're fun. I have a few of them, and I'm gonna rack them soon. But again, after I finish this code piece, I scope creep all of my videos. I'm like, yeah, I can't just do a video on it. I have to like write a whole bunch of code to get this thing to work to then make a video on it. So it's fun though. It's super fun. Yeah, if you didn't hear, I'm just helping. I'm making, it's already kind of possible, but I'm helping, JetK. I'm not helping them. They know exactly what they're doing. But I'm kind of, pushing my agenda a little bit forward of like, hey, let's self-host everything. And so they've been helping out and making changes to the code, and it's been awesome. The last couple of days have been awesome. So then I've been able to fork it, and I'm already hosting most of it. I just got a little bit more to test, so it's pretty fun, pretty fun. Happy weekend. I agree. Happy weekend. Hoping mine ships this week. Awesome, General Ryan, man. They're awesome devices. They are for sure. I won't go into it too much, but I keep hinting at all this stuff about the video. No, but I will have a video. That's the next video I'm working on. And really, it's a combination of a couple things, but I wanted to wait until I like had mine in my hands to do it, and made sure it was the final release version. So it is, and this is mine. So it's they're nice little devices for sure. That's for sure. Cables though, cable. You might be going cable crazy though, because it's so small and it's like, okay, I need USB-C power and device, so I got to get a splitter. Then it has mini HDMI, which it comes with the dongle to do it, to change it over. Then you need, obviously Ethernet doesn't have power over Ethernet. So then you might need a PoE dongle if you want to do that, or run a really long USB-C cable. It's, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It just, you got to connect a lot of cables to it like any KVM, it's fun. It's fun for sure. Mets Jesus. Hey, what am I working on? Trying to make a Borg backup to separate self-hosted system. That's awesome. That sounds like a pretty good time. I don't know much about Borg backup. I'm sure it's pretty awesome. I've heard about it, but Borg Backup, you're making two separate self-hosted systems. That's awesome. Maybe I should look into it because I have a that's one I guess one blind side I have when it comes to backup is like bare metal backups or even file level backups on non-Linux. So, but yeah, pretty awesome. I got to check it out. Chicken? Is that a chicken? It's a panda. Panda hugging a fox, or it's a panda hugging a red panda, I think. I'm saying panda, red panda. It's so small for me to see. Agent Orange, trying to figure out and plan file shares for the TrueNAS server that will be friendly for both Microsoft family files and Linux Homeland file backups. Yeah, any advice to anyone would be appreciated. Yeah, dude, you have already figured it out. You've already figured it out. You're like, hey, I'm going to build an NAS. Family files, basically Windows shares are going to be SMB, and that's for the family. And then Linux stuff is going to be, for home lab stuff for NFS most likely, and maybe iSCSI and stuff like that. I would just say, I don't know if I have anything that I would say. Like, it sounds like you got it figured out. I mean, have a decent amount of RAM. I think even 32, 64 gigs is plenty, depending on how much data you have. If I don't think I would add a cache drive, but the S-Log or the slog kind of helps on writes. Yeah, but I would just say, so I would give some advice on just make sure you pick out the best layout for your disks, for your VDEVs in the beginning, because you can't really change it later. So, which, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on how you set them up. I would just say look into it. And you got to balance, price, performance, and redundancy. And you could pick two. I forget how that works. Pick two. I'll say pick two, even if you can't. But yeah, just be sure you look at it for sure. Yeah, you can change it. Just at it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can. Anything's possible. But yeah, you'll basically have to move your data off and move it back on. And I don't mean to scare you. I'm just saying, hey, just explore your options. I'm a mirror VDEV person. It's kind of stinks that I lose half of my space. Every VDEV is mirrored in a pair. So I have a 50% tax on storage for everything, or 100% tax if you look at it that way, and a 50% loss on storage. But it's something I just said, well, that's what the price is for this. Maybe I should change my layout in the future. Maybe that's part of this TrueNAS video. I don't know. I doubt it. That's way too much. All right, riding on the train. Dr. Heat. Dr. Heat, hi, I'm working on a self-hosted Chasm installation, playing with it, trying to see its limitations, making it more useful with automatic VPN for some connections, persistent storage for in use cases. Hey, that Dr. Heat, that sounds awesome. So Chasm, basically like a Linux desktop in a browser type stuff that are typically, I think, ephemeral. But you're saying, hey, like, I want to do this stuff. I want to have like these startup scripts run when you log in, automatic VPN, cool stuff, and then persistent storage for when maybe you're writing a document or doing other things. So pretty awesome. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. I haven't played with it. I played with WebTops for a while, which is pretty fun. And that's great to be able to kind of get on, go to a website to kind of get into your own environment so you can do a couple of things rather than doing it in someone else's environment, like browse the web. Like, you could go into Chasm or whatever, WebTops, remote in, and then use Firefox from there as if you're going out from your own infrastructure so you don't have to worry. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. You could do, but that's awesome. Yeah. You have to let me know how it goes. I should look at Chasm some more. I should. All this self-hosted stuff I got. Big doo-doo, big dodo. I'm gonna. Is that a doo-doo or a dodo? I'm gonna have to say doo-doo, big doo-doo. Hey, I just had to redo my Open Media Vault VM because the VM kept crashing, and I was passing my hard drives from my DAS. Dang, that stinks. So, Open Media Vault, really good, storage server along with other things, kept crashing. When I was passing my hard drives from my DAS. That kind of stinks. Yeah, that kind of stinks. It stinks to redo it because it's your NAS, and so if that's down, there's all kinds of problems. At least for me, there is. But man, curious to know what went wrong because that kind of should work. You know, I mean, there's always a risk when you pass through disks, especially to down to devices. But it should be pretty stable, pretty common. Dude, Takano, how's it going, man? Resub Prime, 48 months, dude. Man, 4 years, man. 48 months. Thought I'd stop by for a bit, looking for any mini PC recommendations to run some Minecraft servers. Any advice is appreciated. Man, when it comes to mini PCs, I mean, you almost can't go wrong. I mean, you almost can't go wrong, especially like for a Minecraft server. I don't know how many you're planning on running. You like to do like Minecraft at scale. And I think you had a way to like divide them up, spread it across machines. I don't know. I mean, I'm the one that I always talk about that I have right here on my desk right here is the EQ Beelink EQ13. It has the N200 in it. I mean, for me, that's like it's great for testing, great for running. Most of the stuff I want to do. I know that Minecraft can be kind of CPU intensive depending on how many players you have. So maybe you want more than that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many out there between Beelink, Minis Forum has mini PCs and they have mini workstation. But I'm when it comes to like true mini PCs, like low cost, I'm kind of a fan of Beelink because I think they, I don't know, pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. But man, thank you for the 4 years of support, man. Good to see you. Budney, hey, still down in the power efficiency rabbit hole, selling parts that aren't helping, lowering the power C states. Oh, that's awesome. So you're just ripping stuff out, trying to get rid of power. And at the same time selling that stuff. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I should do that. I should do that too soon. It's yeah. Maybe like I was saying, I'm gonna redo part of my TrueNAS server. Maybe that's a good time to also do that. But curious what you're down to now. Didn't you like lose a power supply too? And then you couldn't find it, and then you had to buy another. Oof. Oh wow, skipped over this. Yeah, some would some say we have a hyper container train. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Skitchu. I'm gonna go with Skitch Zero. I've been trying to decide what's the best machine to run PBS on so I can get it set up. Probably a Zima Blade with a couple of spare hard drives I have laying around. I mean, yeah, that'll work. I will say though that so 100% that'll work. Especially if it's just going to be running backups on a handful of machines, it's going to work. Where you might get into some troubles is when it validates and does the checksums against those backups. That's a really CPU intensive task. You could just say, hey, don't check them. Don't ever check them. Don't scrub them. There are risks with that. But I don't want me saying that to stop you from running backups. So I did go for it. But you might run into performance issues if you're going to start like validating all of your backups and running checksums against every single, bit that's backed up. So definitely do it. But know that like, hey, if you want to do all of the additional stuff, you might need a better CPU, but do it. I shouldn't even have said it because I don't want to stop you from doing it because you definitely should have backups. And that's a good use case for, something like a Zima Blade, Zima board, just sitting there. And as long as, doesn't matter, as long as it backs up the machines within 24 hours, you're pretty good. Could run all day on small hardware like that. So, Budney, it's 60 here, plus 20 degrees above normal. Yeah, that's us too. That's us too. Is tomorrow it's going to be 40, 45 something. Fangtooth looks promising. Budney, yeah. So speaking of TrueNAS, so Fangtooth, I just learned about that a little bit ago. So the next release. I think they're adding LXC containers too. They're just going all out. They're going all out. So yeah, so Fangtooth is the next release of TrueNAS, and they'll be adding LXCs. So it's wild. It's wild. I like it, man. I think it's the first platform to like say, we'll do both containers. Because a lot of places choose sides. I mean, most places just choose Docker just because it's so popular. And then I don't think LXCs would be half of what they are. I mean, if it wasn't for Proxmox, right? And so, but then Proxmox won't put Docker first class on the machines. They're just not even going to entertain it. I mean, I don't know why personally, because they probably would just want to stick with KVM type stuff. And so now TrueNAS is going to be doing both. So it's like, okay, this is getting really interesting now because there aren't any systems out there that I know of, like NAS-oriented systems or App Engine-oriented systems that are doing both. So it's interesting to me. Just don't put Kubernetes back on there. Please don't. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I need to look into it some more. Maybe it'll come out before I do my NAS upgrade here in a week or two, but I doubt it. Queco. Today was the first day. It was 30 degrees. It's been 5 to 10 degrees. Hey, yeah, hey, sounds like us. Music Driver. Hi, everyone. This week for me is about figuring out which way I like the most. Installing Docker and Compose and Portainer. Yeah, everything else after. Yes, I want to control my directories, and Compose way looks best for me. Yeah, I agree. There's more administration when it comes to that, I should say, at least initially setting up stuff. And so there's pros and cons to both, right? And so I think Compose is the way to go. If you want to use Compose and you want to manage your own YAML, I think that's the way to go. And so that's what I typically do is I'll do Docker Compose, and I'll have so I can use YAML so I can write it down. Do a Compose stack, mostly Compose stack per app. Sometimes I'll combine stacks if they all need access to the same service or all need access to the same network. I'll combine the stack, like when it makes sense, right? And so, like I have my AI stack, that's all my AI stuff that needs to communicate with each other. Makes a ton of sense, right? Then I have my Home Assistant stack, which is Home Assistant plus, Zigbee plus everything else that helps me run Home Assistant that I don't use outside of there. And so that's how I manage it. And then, on top of that, I have Portainer installed just so I can look and see at the logs without having to SSH into stuff. So, yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, I think you're headed down the right path. I think that's the way to go. Although I'm talking it up, and my plan is to move all my stuff, my home production stuff, to TrueNAS here in a little bit. And that's really just because these are stable things that I don't play with. Like Home Assistant. Yeah, I will play adding devices or adding services and check it out, but I'm not destroying it every weekend. Hopefully not. Just to try it out. And so I have a handful of things that I'm calling my home production, like Plex, Home Assistant, kind of my AI stack too, because I've been relying on Ollama and OpenWeb UI for chat stuff. And so I'm kind of promoting them to production, my home production, which is going to be on my TrueNAS server, which I'll still do playing around stuff and Kubernetes stuff and Docker stuff everywhere else. But the things that always need to be up, I'm going to put them on my NAS because my NAS is always up and it's really close to the data that it needs too. So it doesn't need to traverse the network for the data. So which I like. My NAS is virtual, but it's the only VM aside from Plex on that server. Yeah, I'm there with you too. It's so nice to be able to virtualize a machine for a lot of reasons. But I've been there too, where I have just Proxmox virtualizing one machine. A big beefy machine, just because it's like, hey, I want to manage Proxmox. I don't want to manage the bare metal piece. Been there. Thank you. Oh, Fat Dad 32. Thank you for the answer. I think that was to someone else, but if I answered, you're welcome. IoTME Labs. Today we are doing home inventory in Grossi. Yeah, and I'm connecting it all to sensors and Home Assistant and Homebox so I can manage all of my stock automatically with conditional logic for machine cleaning. Oh, okay. All right, so you're using Grossi, which I'm familiar with it. So it's it's basically like an ERP for home for groceries, but no, it's inventory management for your grocery, for your stock, for your pantry. And you're saying so this means you've gotten your significant other or someone else to go in on you with this, which sounds pretty wild. I like it though. Sounds pretty wild. that you got someone, you convinced someone to do this with you, and then connecting it to sensors and all this. This sounds awesome. Like that's the dream, right? Like the dream, I think, with food management or pantry management is, hey, you know, when I get low on something, I just need to know that I need to pick it up next time I'm at the store. I mean, there's steps beyond that, but at its most basic thing, I mean, me personally, I like one backup. So I'm like, I always have one peanut butter open, one peanut butter is backup, just in case I don't know that we need peanut butter when we run out. But that's just me. But anyways, you're saying, hey, to solve that problem, we're going to do all of our groceries in Grocery. We're going to take inventory. I like it. And then you're going to set up some sensors to know when things are out. This I need to know. It's probably weight sensors or something to know. I don't know. It sounds so interesting. But I think I'm even more amazed that you convinced someone else to do this with you. I'd be right there with you. But man, that is awesome. You have somebody who's very patient and very open to new things. So that's pretty awesome. I need to take a look at Grocery again. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but I remember it being out there. It's open source and it's pretty fun. So, Penguin Airlines, hey, how's it going? Gonna have to miss today. Taking a live course on business ownership. Oh, hope y'all having a great day. Wow, all right, business ownership. I like it. And a live course, man. This is. He means business. He really means business now. Good to see you, Penguin Airlines. All good. Cable labels. Oh yeah. I need to. I label my cables. I just forget to update them later. I forget to run the update statements on my cables when I switch stuff around. Mob Farber, a lot of larbers and labelers in there. Mob Farmer found my labeler, so we'll get more labels when I'm done with cleanup. All right. I found my labeler too. And it's pretty nice having it. I label all kinds of stuff now. I label stuff I probably don't even need to. But it's fun. It's like one of those things like you wish you had when you were a kid because why not? And now that you have one, you're just like, cool, I get to label everything. Let's see, Budney. Normally my main TrueNAS is virtualized in Proxmox. Then I have bare metal TrueNAS machine to pack everything up. I like that. So you're saying, hey, like my main is metal. And my secondary is virtualized, and that's cool too. That is cool because then it means it's like you don't need twice the hardware. If you have a hypervisor already, you're just like, okay, I'll throw it down there and do it there. That is awesome. I like it. Franchisee, hey everyone, hello, a lot of hellos. Yakto, yeah, selling. Oh, he's selling that. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, he's selling that 48 port. Let's see. Let me go into here. PC Geek says he's also considering getting a UNVR. Who is this guy? Two, to transition from Blue Iris, but I'm third-party cams. Can't decide for certain if I want to or not. I think I won't get motion alert triggering, so would end up 24/7 recording. Yeah, you would. You wouldn't. Well, you would. Well. Let me roll this back. So a couple of things. So you're saying, hey, like I have OnViv cameras, and I'm thinking about just going with Unified Protect and leaving Blue Iris. But hey, I have these cameras, and I won't get motion detection, I think, if I move over to those. So I don't know the answer to that. You probably know the answer to that. I know that personally, I do 24/7 all cameras. Like what I do is I have all cameras record 24/7, not just on motion events. And then motion events are marked, so as events, so then I can go back and look at them later. And then I have smart detections and stuff too, so I can even go back further and just say, show me all the people, or show me all the squirrels, not squirrels yet, but animals, or show me all the cars, that happened between this time range. So, but yeah, that stinks if you don't get any motion events whatsoever. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, and how then they had the AI port, but that's not cost effective for cameras because, like, are you going to put a $300-400 AI port for a $100 camera? Probably not. So, but yeah, it's I think it's awesome. I was Blue Iris for years. I think I ran Blue Iris for 10 years, and then I did this switch to Protect mainly because it was like more energy efficient. And a lot easier to get my hands on cameras, believe it or not. Because for a while I was doing all PoE, like, Dahua or something. Who knows? Those cameras, the ones that are basically white labeled all the same but different names. I did that for so long, and it was just kind of it just ended up being a pain. Like, how do I log into this one again? What's the password on this one again? Oh, that whole thing when you have like, a disparate ecosystem of cameras, it kind of stinks. So I will say I'm very happy with Protect. Like I have zero complaints because it's that awesome. I'm impressed, I guess I should say. So let's see, PC Geek. But I did get a Dell Precision 3930 rack for $54 plus some shipping on an auction. So a Dell Precision 3930 rack for $54. So you have another rack now. He's going all out. He's going all out. Dell Precision. Oh, you mean a rack mount? Oh, gotcha. Workstation. I thought this was like the name of like some rack. That's right, the workstation. I was like, oh man, he has multiple racks now. Roland NZ, should I keep my current 16X Intel Xeon CPU E2620V4 2.1 gigahertz CPU, or is it worth moving to something newer? I mean, that one's tough because you're going to spend a lot of money to move to something newer. It kind of stinks because, like, that class of CPU is old. It's great for home lab, but there's like no cheap way out of getting a little bit more, other than upgrading the CPU to, something that's still that same socket, which is just going to use more power, which, you have the V4. So, that's tough. I'm kind of in that situation too, even with my HL15, all of that. I'm like, could I put an EPYC, or could I even just put, I can't put a desktop class processor in there because I need PCI Express lanes. It's that whole thing. Like, could I use desktop processor? No, not for my HL15 because I need, tons of PCI Express lanes. So, okay, could I move to, EPYC? I could, but I'd have to pay a lot of money. And is it worth that in the end? So I'm kind of there with you too. I wish there was something that would just give us tons of PCI Express lanes. And be relatively affordable. I just wish there was, how about I put it this way? I wish there was like a pro version of a CPU, not enterprise, not home. Give me something in between, or just make the home CPUs have just as many lanes, or at least twice as many lanes. That would be awesome. So, I mean, that's tough. It's tough. Just depends on how much you want to spend, and then like, is it going to be incremental upgrade? Or are you just going to like upgrade a little bit to, a different platform? Or what about all the RAM and the CPU? Then you got to sell all that stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of in that same boat. And I wish there were an easy button too to answer that question. Roland NZ, main usage, it's Nextcloud, image and home assistant. Huh. Okay. So yeah. So, I mean, with that, honestly, with something like that, you could go mini PC, and I'm not, you probably want a rack mount server. I know, but what I'm saying is, like, with only that amount of processing, I'm going to hold this up again. That could, a B-Link, N200 Intel could easily handle that. Like, no problem. Because you didn't say Plex. And even that has an onboard QuickSync, so it would be able to handle some. So, yeah, totally. Totally. I mean, I don't know on image if you're doing like AI detections and stuff like that, like face detections. But still, you can get by on a lot less power for sure. You don't need, I guess you don't need a Xeon to do that is what I'm saying. But I get it. Like, it's what you have. It's what I have. And it costs money to do something different. So same here. Let's see. Yeah, mini PCs rocked, fast and tiny, low power, not as much memory, but sweet. Yeah, exactly. I think you summarized it all up. That's exactly what I think about this thing. And I will throw in that, you can't expand much on it. Most of them only have like a slot for one NVMe drive, and so it's like, or maybe SATA, maybe, or two NVMe drives, maybe. And so you just got to buy like the biggest NVMe drive you can and put the most amount of RAM you can in them. Usually that's pretty low, maybe 32, maybe 64. And then, just let it run. Let it run. And sometimes VMs to play with Oracle. Yeah. There you go. So you're saying, okay, I also need to do some Oracle database stuff. I still think mini PC can handle that for sure. For sure. Because like with database stuff, It's not a lot of compute. With database, it's, RAM for caching queries and then disk for paging or getting the data off the disk. I mean, a little bit of CPU or compute when it starts up, but once it's running, memory and disk and more memory over time because it'll cache the results of queries. So, and if it's just for playing, yeah, for sure, you could do it. But then you're throwing in a VM and it's like, okay, well then if you're doing a whole VM to do it, you could probably, I mean, I put Proxmox on this mini PC before, it runs fine. But once you start getting outside of like 2-3 VMs, depending on what you're doing, that's when you're kind of pushing the limits. For my Intel NUCs though, those things are, I mean, I have my Intel NUCs downstairs in my server room, 3 of them in a Proxmox cluster. And I think each of them are running 3 or 4 VMs plus 3 LXC containers each. So totally doable with a little bit more when it comes to NVMe, RAM, and maybe a little bit more CPU. Just depends. C Diablo. Intel or AMD for home server. Ooh, that one's tough too. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is kind of, it's up to you. I will say that. Because once you start getting into like server or desktop class, the answers might be different depending on cost and how much money you have or heat or electricity. If you're going to desktop class, AMD is a pretty easy choice for sure. Intel is a pretty easy choice too. If you're going desktop class, if you want quick sync or anything like that. But even AMD's onboard graphics is pretty okay for Plex too. Well, not for Plex, but for Jellyfin it is. So it's totally up to you. I mean, I would just say choose your team based on what you can afford and, how much longevity you're going to get out of it. For sure. If it's more efficient on power but still can do the job, might be worth something newer and also faster. Yeah, I think so too. For sure. Yeah. If you can't go newer, do. Because it'll just have more shelf life, have more shelf life. Both really doesn't matter. Oh, this is going into incognito. Sure how much power I'm assuming. Yeah. Home server doesn't matter. Home lab, AMD PCIe lanes, are extremely limited on Intel unless you go Xeno. Yeah, or Intel. Exactly what we've been saying. I think Intel finally caught up with AMD. So this is like latest desktop stuff. I mean, they both have 2024 now. So, but that's nothing. Again, that's a video card and 2 NVMe drives, That's not like Xeon. Yeah, I knew what you're saying. I was like, Xeno. But it's tough. It's tough. But most of the time, like a lot of people don't need the, PCI Express lanes that they think they need. I mean, if you don't, you're not going to throw a video card in something. Boom, there's 16 back right there. If you're not going to be throwing, HBA with like tons of, some backplane for tons of drives, I mean, you might not need it. So I'm in the camp where I say start small and then grow into something else instead of starting big and then downsizing later. That's why I'm a huge fan of like buy a mini PC. If it doesn't work, 1, you can return it. But if it's not enough in a year or 2 years, well, you only spent $150 to find that out. If you go like on the opposite end of that, $400 or $500 used server, maybe more, or you build, you could be in anywhere from $400 to $1,000 only to find out you need to downsize later. So the server way might sound like you're future proofing, but really, I think there are very few people that really need server grade processor stuff at home. I have them, so do I need one? No, I need the lanes. And so if I didn't need the lanes, I would 100% throw a desktop one in there. I'd still rack it though. But yeah, because if you think about like CPUs, unless you're going to be calculating or crunching numbers or like encoding or, transcoding, converting video, like the CPU is barely used at all. And so like there's not a huge benefit to buying a server grade processor to run these really tiny workloads unless you need the lanes. And that's like the conundrum we're in, where we have to buy server grade because we need lanes. Oh man, let's see. Oh boy, if you pick up a cheap power meter on Amazon, gonna make yourself crazy. What? Yeah, cheap power meter. Oh, I think the gate. Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Budney, if it's going to have a good load running on it most of the times, AMD. Yeah. If at idle a lot, Intel. Yeah, QuickSync is better for transcoding. Yeah, yeah. Summarizing you right there. That is great. You can change. Oh, this is going back to ZFS. Let's see. Scarlax. I started to learn Kubernetes and Rancher, and although there is a ton of tutorials, they're all outdated. Plus, there are bugs in Rancher clustering tools, so you cannot even install monitoring without manual at the moment. Yeah, that stinks. Yeah, that stinks. I know a lot of their. So one, yes, like a lot of tutorials are out of date. Like I've done some in the past. Yeah, they're probably out of date. I think I wouldn't say the only one of the few ones are just how to install it. That's still valid because like you still use Helm to install it. But that's kind of the, that's par for the course with tutorials on YouTube is like, you know, there's a certain point where the product is going to change stuff. And so when they do, it's like, well, the video's off now. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But I would say, yeah, go to their site and look at the documentation because that's going to be the best way. And I thought they had I haven't looked in a while, but I thought they had their apps, which are really just Helm packages that you can install monitoring in. If you just go like into the app section, click it, and it should just work, quote unquote. But I totally get it. YouTube videos are good not only for showing you how to do stuff, but also context around what you're doing and why, for sure. Because, you could copy and paste commands all day, but like if you don't know why you're running them, yeah, that stinks. That stinks. Let's see. Yeah, you can select at startup if you want a persistent session or ephemeral. Yeah, I like it. So this is going back to Chasm. Yeah, AMD. Yeah, for sure. 48 months. Let's see. I was using Cube Coders amp panel. Lets you split among PCs. All right, Takano. Mostly this time, just planning on running a heavily modded survival server for like 5 friends. Dude, I keep bringing up this B-Link, but man, this is like one of the cheapest things you can buy on Amazon as far as like mini PCs goes, and it has N200 and it uses like no power. Like that's a cheap, easy way to find out, right? It's a low cost way to find out is the B-Link. I have the EQ13. I think there's even a model smaller, but I kind of like the N100, N200. I say N100 minimally, but the N5105 is little beefier, but it's going to use some more power. But when I say more, we're talking like maybe 5 watts more. These are mini, tiny PCs, so but more than capable to do something like that Minecraft server. And just make sure you put 32 gigs of RAM in it and whatever, and if that's your dedicated Minecraft server, I think it's going to be totally fine. Totally fine. I like AMP a lot, but lately I've been on such a FOSS kick, I might try another solution there. Yeah, so AMP is the service you can run to help you host game servers. Yeah. And it is closed source because it's a product you buy, or at least pay for a subscription. I don't know. Maybe you buy it once. But yeah, there are other open source solutions out there. Yeah, for sure. Like Pterodactyl's one, but it's like so hard to get set up. But if you do it, you don't do it the super complicated way. It's a little bit easier. If you don't stack it all in one Docker container and have to do like a mental mapping, a decoder ring of like mapping all these ports, it can get confusing that way. So. For Minecraft servers, you primarily want a beefy CPU since it's CPU bound. There you go. If you want to run modded, especially heavily modded, you probably need a dedicated 12 to 16 gigs for the server. I like it, Dr. He's all over it. He's all over it. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, totally. Legit, I have a very small PVE setup right now, though, a single VM and a few containers. I think it'll be fine. Real quick, I got to get caught up on follow. Oh man, I'm way over. Mitch Chevius, I like it. Mitch Chevius, V. Nelson, and Plaus Zenman. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. All right, y'all. I went way over when I said I wasn't gonna go over, so I'm gonna cherry pick some of these. Here we go. Cephers do. Helping my 86-year-old dad load and learn Linux today. He wanted to learn something new. Yeah, that is awesome. That is hey, I want to learn something new. Let's try Linux. Hey, that is awesome. That sounds so awesome. That is awesome. That sounds fun to be able to, show your dad what it is, how it's different, but also how it's the same. Man, that sounds like so much fun for sure. Because it's your dad, yeah, and you're gonna be like his tour guide through Linux. That sounds like a ton of fun. Ton of fun. The primary use with mini PCs for this purpose I can see is cooling, A, cooling, B, extensibility if you want to say add more RAM to it. I'm a huge fan of refurbished systems with a soft spot for business. Yeah, HP line Z8G4 and the Z840 for mini PCs. I know from personal experience, mini forums is good with some extensibility options. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So like if you get like the HP business line ones, you have some expandability and extensibility because you just have like more to work with, versus like, current state of mini PCs, which is like a plastic box that's this big and like you could put some drives in it. It's like our the new generation of netbooks, are these, tiny, new mini PCs. It's like the netbooks, except for way more capable. They can do a lot more than the netbooks could, for sure. Perhaps inventory station with barcode reader. All right. Scan, container press 1 for button, empty or full. Oh, I like it. I was thinking like way too hard, thinking about like groceries and how you're going to know. Yeah, scan barcodes. Yeah, for sure. Barcode scanner. Yeah, when you use the last thing of it, scan it and just say I'm out. I like it. Or buttons for reorder, like those Amazon buttons that never worked. They probably worked, but they didn't take off. You got to label the label. How will you even know what it is? That is good. Yeah, I probably should put a label on the label printer saying label printer, because just in case I forget what it is. Oh man, let's see. I'm scrolling. Takano Real-Link cams is pretty good so far with us. All cameras record 24/7 on an NVR, yeah, and then record motion events, so the micro SD cams themselves. Yeah, same. I'm a 24/7 record and then peer back through events, because why not? Because the time that the one event doesn't record the thing I want, I'm like, oh crap. Or there are times, when something happens somewhere in the yard and I'm like, how did that get way over there? That wouldn't have triggered the event. I just scrub back in time until I see that thing not there and then, go back. My wife and I bet on some stuff sometimes on like who did something. Like if we can't remember, like, because it was a long time ago. Oh, she's caught me a couple times. I'm like, there's no way it was me. It was me. Xcage grew to 6 Proxmox server. I thought he said grew him. I was like, all right. 6 Proxmox server for different purposes in a cluster, and still run Unraid for NAS purposes since I started watching Tim. Dude, that is awesome. Again, like either I'm sorry or you're welcome. No, but that is awesome. 6 Proxmox servers. Talk about the cluster. That is awesome. And still run Unraid for NAS purposes. Yeah, totally fine. I totally get why people run Unraid, and I totally understand its place in the market. It's great for a ton of stuff, great for running apps, and it's great for storage for a NAS, because it's not a RAID, it's an Unraid, and you can get a lot more dollar per gig out of your storage, right? Because you can use less for parity. But yeah, that is awesome. 6 Proxmox servers, man. I apologize, or you're welcome. But that's pretty awesome. Hey, Hitman. Hey, how's it going? Ooh, I'm just kicking stuff. Hey, some things I've been more software oriented in my home lab right now. Awesome. So I'm mainly working on what I have self-hosted and fleshing out the other, since it will cost me upwards of 600 Canadian dollars to finish my home lab for now. Oof, yeah, that's expensive. My home is also going to be undergoing a potential Wi-Fi and definitive security change. But I have a question. Half my family wants to hire some company that's using a different brand for a surplus, but other half wants to use Ubiquiti and get some G5s. What could sway them? Man, I was just talking about someone else was like texting me earlier today. And it's like, Tim, I know you know this Ubiquiti stuff. Which camera should I get? Like everyone's asking me about camera stuff because camera security is getting super important, and they're like, I don't know. Um, this is tough. So I don't know who the other brand is, and I'm glad I don't, because then it makes me just talk about like maybe why I choose Ubiquiti. And like, yeah, you guys know, like sometimes they send me unit review units. Never, they never sponsor my videos, but sometimes they send stuff. So there's that. So that's my disclaimer. But I bought Protect, and I bought the camera ecosystem before they even knew who I was. So I'm, it's I even have a video to prove it. But some of the reasons I choose Protect, I'll just talk about that. Why do I like Protect, and why do I like their camera ecosystem? One, because I know what it's like on the other side. I was just talking about it a little bit earlier. When you have cameras from 5 manufacturers that all have different logins, that who knows what they're uploading and where. I mean, you're going to block the internet from them, but who knows? A lot of people don't. You don't know if there are any backdoors. You don't know any of that stuff. So there's that. Hey, real quick, franchise, dude, thanks for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. So there's that. And let's say that's not, let's just say that's off the table. Like, these companies, no matter where they're from, they're not going to be backdooring into your cameras. That's fine. But even just the administration of all the different cameras, all the different username and passwords, firmware updates on all of them, time sync on all of them, that drives me bonkers. And that's one reason I wanted to get out of it. And two was like, I wanted to buy cameras from a company that I knew was going to be around for a while, right? And so I figured Ubiquiti is going to be around for a little while. These other cameras, Dahua and all this stuff, they're not around anymore. Or they're on like the do not buy list from the US government or something. And then, another reason is I like that Ubiquiti just has a tight integration between hardware and software. A lot of people say the Apple way, but I'll say it like, they're making a whole product where they're saying, yes, this camera, is going to work perfect with the system, and this camera has these features, and that's how we'll integrate those features into our system, and it'll just work perfect, or it'll do all these other things. And whereas if you just buy the camera and then you run your own security system, or maybe they run it, I don't know. I haven't found that ever to be true. The other thing is like firmware updates are boom. Like I don't even think about it. I update Protect. Protect realizes, hey, you have these 10 cameras. Some of them have firmware updates. I'm just going to do it right now. Pretty easy. Single pane of glass too. And so anyways, and the quality's great. Video quality. This is not a commercial for them. I'm just telling you why I bought them. And I bought them before I had a relationship with them too. Video quality's great. All the AI stuff and recognition stuff they're doing is awesome. And at the end of the day, what I will say too is, it's on device. So if you wanted to be 100% local only, local logins, an air-gapped solution, you totally could. Now, you're not going to get push notifications and all that, but you totally can. And so, I know that my video stays on that video recorder, in my basement on my NVR. So, which is true with other places too, if that's what you're using. So I don't know who you're comparing it to. I'm almost glad I don't know who you're comparing it to, because then it doesn't look like I'm any kind of biased. I'm just saying, hey, here's my opinion and my experience. And it's so easy. I mean, I just adopt a camera. Like you buy a new camera, you turn it on, boom, right away. Protect is saying, hey, I detected the camera, because a lot of them have Bluetooth, or you plug it into the network. You're like, oh yeah, that's my camera. Adopt. That's all you do. And then it joins your network. It joins all of your devices. It will apply the same settings. Like if you have global settings for all your cameras, applies them all to it. If there are firmware updates to it, it'll apply those firmware updates, and boom, that's all you do, because you have your global settings already set. There's nothing to do. And it's so awesome. Like just adding a camera is the most easiest thing ever in the world. It's like, yeah, adopt it. 2 minutes later, it's on your network with all your settings and working just like anything else. So yeah, I'm going to stop, because you guys are probably thinking I'm like sponsored by them. I'm not. I'm a huge fan. And I've been doing like home security stuff for a long time. Like, I was telling PC Geek too, like I've been doing Blue Iris, I think for 10 years. I told you guys this earlier too. I've been doing Blue Iris for a long time. Like I've been into this stuff for a long time. And only now with like Protect, where I'm Unify Protect, I'm like, man, this is the future. This is where it's going. Local AI detections, local context around things that happen. Now with the AI key and stuff, it has AI support, like LLM support. I can say, look for the guy in the red hat. If there's a video with a guy in a red hat, it's going to bring it up. Like all the stuff that I've been talking about that I've wanted with cameras for the last couple of years are starting to happen now. So yeah, that's why I think it's awesome. They're leaders. I mean, I haven't looked at other systems, so it's not fair for me to say that I think they're the best or that they're leader in this space because I don't research this space. But I know that like I have features that I don't even ask for, and they're so advanced that like if I ever need them, they're there. Anyways, all right, I'll stop talking about it. But I think you had a follow-up, Hitman, really quick. I meant what could convince them to go with Ubiquiti over the other ones? Hopefully everything I said everything I just said helps you out. But I don't know what brand the other company is thinking, but I'm pretty sure something like iControl Networks. I don't know anything about iControl Networks, but hopefully everything I just said, you could cherry pick those themes out and say, yeah, these are some of the things that I want. But compare them. Just worst case scenario, create a quick matrix. Company A does this, company B does this, company A does this, B does this. Make a couple of columns and just say, hey, here's the facts. Here's the thing. One camera manufacturer does, and here's one the other doesn't. Compare it and just be totally, objective about it. And you could go that route too. Yeah, I wonder who will win. So awesome. One more. Does he not have the ability to see comments other than the one he highlights? No, he's definitely not answering the question here. I definitely is. Definitely is. I is. Come on, Hitman. I've already answered that question. Mob Farmer, he does, but he goes in order unless it's sub or donate. Yeah, usually. Yeah, that's exactly right. I just plow through them all. And then if someone highlights it, then I will do it. Old comment you did. Well, I mean, if you put it in there, I don't know it's an old comment. Let's see. Music Driver, I think the last one. Skitch, that netbook size totally would be great again. Yeah, for consumers, offices, students. I would buy one over mini PCs. Music Driver, yeah. And so I don't mean to dog on netbooks. I dog them all the time. But I have a soft spot in my heart for netbooks. I love them because I threw Linux on them because I knew they were just paired with, Windows Vista or Windows 7, which was totally like not the right thing to pair them with. So when those came out, the little Atom CPUs, they were great. But running Windows on the Atom CPU was not great. So, they totally got a bad rap, and maybe I'm apologizing for netbooks in general. But when netbooks were out, if you just wiped them and threw Ubuntu on them, they were actually really good, or some version of Linux. It was just that, when Windows started venturing in from Vista to Windows 7, they were just like, hey, everything's glass. Hey, everything's cached. Hey, I'm going to scan your hard drive all day long and take 10 minutes to log in. That's when it, they totally gave them a bad name. I totally agree. If there was a form factor that was mini PCs, an N100 laptop, there probably is, and you guys are going to hold me to it. If there was an N100 laptop, I would consider it. That sounds pretty awesome, for sure.